R.Srinivasa. I have been working in distance education since 2004 as an academic counselor. My subject is English. Today, I am going to teach you one of the greatest romantic poets, John Keats. You know that John Keats wrote many words. I have selected one of his words, the famous one, Ode to a Nightingale. This Ode to a Nightingale reveals John Keats' imaginative power and his sensuousness. Actually, John Keats went to his friend's house. His name is Charles Brown. When he was sitting in the gardens of his friend, at that time he heard the melodious and mellifluous song of the nightingale. At that time, John Keats felt very happy. He knew no bounds to his happiness. Actually, at that time, the mental condition of John Keats was really very pathetic condition. He lost his younger brother, Tom Keats. He died of consumption. And John Keats was a rejected lover. And John Keats received brickbats from his colleagues, brickbats from his contemporaries. And these things pained him a lot. At that time, John Keats was in mental agony. And in that condition, John Keats happened to hear the melodious and mellifluous voice of the sonorous song of nightingale. That song pacified his heart, consoled his overburdened heart. After hearing that song, John Keats, taking the sheets of papers, he wrote the greatest poem, Ode to a Nightingale. And now I would like to read the first stanza. My heart aches and drowsy numbness pains. My sense as though of hemlock had drunk, or emptied some dull opiate to the drains. 1 minute passed, and letty words had sung. It is not through envy of thy happy lot, but being too happy in thine happiness, that you light-winged deer of the trees, in some melodious plot of beech and green and shadows numberless, singest of summer in full-throated ease. The very outset of the poem, John Keats says that his heart is aches, his heart is aching, his heart is paining. That doesn't mean what he said that he is in sad mood. After hearing the melodious song of the nightingale, John Keats, because of overjoy, and his heart was aching out of overjoy, and a drowsy numbness pains, and that song gives him a kind of relief. That song gives him a kind of solace, as if he had drunken a poisonous herb that is called hemlock. Hemlock is actually a poisonous herb that creates numbness or dullness. Or emptied some dull opiate to the drains. 1 minute passed, and letty words had sung. Here the reference is Letty River, you know. Letty River, the water of the Letty River, it has its significance. If anybody drinks the water of Letty River, that person will get forgetfulness and will forget the past history. That's why here John Keats says that, and after hearing the song of the nightingale, and how was his condition? As if he had taken the opium, or what he said that the hemlock, as if he had drunken the water of Letty River, and his body was sailing in the sky, are sailing in the air, and his overburdened heart, and he got a kind of relief. That's why it is not through envy of thy happy lot. And he also admits that it is not jealous of the happiness of the nightingale, but being too happy in thine happiness. That is, John Keats felt very happy, and he was sharing the happiness of the nightingale. That's why his heart was aching, and that thou light-winged dryad of the trees. And here he compared the nightingale, and it was a wood nymph. Dryad means a wood nymph, and here the bird was a wood nymph, and it has soft and delicate wings in some melodious plot. What is the meaning of melodious plot? We say that melodious voice, we say that melodious song, but what is the meaning of melodious plot? Because of the song of the nightingale bird, the whole area, it also turned into a melodious plot. Of beechen green and shadows numberless, singest of summer in full-throated ease. Now the bird very easily, that is what you say, that in a carefree manner, effortlessly singing the melodious song of the nightingale. And it was singing in the summer season. That's why the song is what you say, that the singest of summer. So in the first stanza, John Keats says that, and his heart is what he said, that full of happiness, because the happiness of the nightingale bird, and its song is really what he said, that that is the greatest relief to the overburdened